What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another business breakthrough. In this business breakthrough session, I sit down with a good friend of mine, Valentino, as we work through his plan on starting another business, a cabinet coating business, with a friend of his. So him and Leon are going to go half and half on this, and they really kind of reached out for some advice on what direction to take the business in, knowing that they both currently own separate businesses and the dynamic of what to do and how to go about it. So this is a great conversation to listen in on if you are starting a business, if you are currently thinking about maybe starting another business, or if you're in your business and you want to learn some concepts of foundational principles that you may have maybe overlooked. So this is just an all around awesome coaching episode that I think you're really going to get some value out of. So I'm excited to share it with you. So tune in. The big question you need to ask yourself every day is, do I own a job or do I own a business? And unfortunately, the majority of contractors out there own a job. That's right, they're a slave to their own business. But the other side of the fence is so much greener, it's so much better, and that's when you're finally fully in control of your destiny, your freedom, your time. And that's what Contractor Secrets is about. It's about taking back our time, building a business with systems, standards, values, procedures, putting yourself in the driver's seat. And that's what it's about. So I'm excited. I'm happy to have you here. Let's dive into the Contractor Secrets podcast. Insta-Cabinets. All right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Business Breakthrough. I'm here with Valentino and Christopher. Valentino is a good friend of mine.
I'm sorry, it's Leon, my son. I don't know. It's Leon, actually.
Gotcha. All right, that helps. Man,
All
both
right.
of you guys are tricking me with these names on here, man.
I know. I don't know why.
That's all right. That's all right. We'll figure it out. All right, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to the Business Breakthrough. I'm here with Leon and Valentino. I've known Valentino for quite some time now. He's the owner of Insta in South Florida. The reason we are doing a business breakthrough right now is because we have Leon here, and they are wanting to partner on a cabinet coating business, which would be I would say a sister company of Insta, but a standalone cabinet coating company, which I already like the idea of. I think that's a really good way to focus on what we're good at. So the first thing is kind of, guys, why don't you just give me an idea? And Valentino, we spoke yesterday. I know that we got the LLC up. We're working on a website. We're there. What I'm most concerned about, and that's kind of why we're here today, is kind of just, I want to know, Leon, you're probably going to be the heavy hand in this business because, Valentino is running Insta. So you're kind of going to be the head guy over at Insta-Cabinets. You
Correct.
come from a pressure washing background, right?
Correct.
Okay.
I do.
So one thing that I want to make sure that we do whenever we start a business is start off on the right foot. Okay.
Okay.
Anything that I say to you is just straight, just giving it to you, take it for what it's worth. But I'd say that
Sure.
you don't want to bring bad habits into a new business. So let's
Correct.
kind of talk about the pressure washing business.
Sure.
It could have been a massive success. It could have been something that was sustainable. Could have been something that maybe didn't really get off to the point that you wanted it to. So tell me about what the dynamic was for your pressure washing business. And let's start there.
Well, for my industry is it like any other industry, it's being competitive.
Okay.
Anybody can do it. We all
Right.
know that. Anybody can go to Home Depot and buy a pressure wash and just start calling out prices. And with my industry, the challenges are trying to match or compete with my competitors.
Okay.
Those are the challenges that I've run into all the time,
Okay.
where they say, "Hey, Uncle Bob over there, he does it for half your price. Why should I choose you?" So I quickly, end that and just say, "Listen, the quality is what you're paying for. If you're looking for the cheapest guy, I'm not going to be that guy, because what we do is we deliver quality. We take our time to make sure it gets done right."
Right.
So that's where I separate. Then, of course, you start getting incentives, giving them discounts and stuff like that. So for my industry, it's a little bit of a challenge because just anybody can do it,
Gotcha. So
you
let
know.
me ask you this. Let me ask you
Sure.
this. Did you have a pressure washing wand in your hand?
I'm sorry. Did I have a wand in my hand?
Yeah. Were you actually doing the pressure washing when you owned your pressure washing company?
Correct. I do it. I started doing it myself. Correct.
Okay.
Yes.
that was what I wanted to talk about, because essentially, the greatest, the greatest hurdle of many contractors, it doesn't matter what business you are starting, man. It doesn't matter, because the reality of the situation is there are successful pressure washing companies out there.
Oh,
There are
absolutely.
companies that are charging premium dollar, and they're not battling people over their price. It's they combat that with exemplary service in terms of communication, following up, setting up systematic rewashes every 3 months, getting them on a recurring monthly basis, putting out yard signs, affiliating with painting companies and not even dealing with customers. So the system for them is protecting them from dealing with what you were on a customer consumer basis, where you're looking at each job, brother, in the sense of, if I'm going to physically be producing the labor on this project, I want to see enough money to justify that,
Sure.
as opposed to what a business owner would say is, I'm only paying that guy $20 an hour, so I'll take that job for $150 because it's only going to
Right.
take him 2 hours. You're
Correct.
seeing it as a business owner, you're saying to yourself, my worth is greater than that, and that's what's inhibiting the growth. Okay.
Correct.
And if you bring that into the cabinet coating business, which by default you will, it's going to happen, because when you first start a business, you're
Right.
not going to get rock star cabinet coaters, man. This is a specialty business. This isn't something where, you can just bring someone off the street like you could have with a pressure washing company. You
Correct.
got to find you got to find artisans, dude. People that
Correct.
know how to lay down paint, that know how to
Correct.
fix a touch up, because if you're in a field which you've described to me is a saturated market, meaning the quality is low, the customers don't care, because
Mhm.
they'll just wash the house. I could get my hose out there and do it, but let
Right.
that guy do it. Okay. It's hard to justify premium pricing and pressure washing, because
Correct.
anybody with a pulse can do it.
Right.
So when it comes to what you're attempting to try to do, which is essentially a specialty service,
Mhm.
you can charge premium dollar, but you better bring it when it comes to premium quality. And it's not
Correct.
as easy. So that's where my concern is that it's going to be hard for you to stand back and watch. And I know that Valentino, I'm going to bring you in here in a second. Valentino, you do this. You actually produce cabinet jobs. So we know that, Leon doesn't have as much of a learning curve as somebody who's just jumping in, because what Valentino is doing, you see him here now. He doesn't have paint on him, Leon.
Right.
And
Right.
that's what we want to make sure continues to happen in your business.
Sure.
So, Valentino, let's talk about it. You have guys that paint houses and you have guys that paint cabinets. Are you planning on letting some of the guys that currently work for Insta Painting to also start up this new endeavor with Insta-Cabinets?
Yeah. So first of all, I want to say thank you for having me on the
Of
podcast.
course.
It's a great blessing, to get this advice from you.
Thank you,
I
brother.
listen to podcasts all the time, and thank you, Leon, for taking the time to be here with us.
Oh, absolutely.
I
My
know
pleasure.
I know something great is going to come out of this. And to answer your question, so basically, yes. So the guys that I have now, who now we're focusing on just residential interior and exterior paints or repaints. Um, I'm at the beginning. That's a plan. I want to bring at least 1 to 2 guys, to start with Insta-Cabinets. So they're gonna focus just on doing cabinets. That's gonna be the plan, because I already have, I built trust with these guys. Number one, bringing in somebody else would just, be a little bit more, I would say, difficult at this point, especially just starting. And these guys that I have in mind have done kitchen cabinets with me before.
So,
So
so I'm all about kind of creating magic in companies, man. And magic, I mean, getting people excited. Okay. Because the way I see it is, if I'm in your position, there's two ways to do this. You could say, uh, let's just come up with a name. Hey, Lewis, just so you know, you're going to be doing cabinets with Leon. You're going to be working for Leon now. I need you to do a couple cabinets. Like, you could easily say that and he'll be like, all right, cool. You're going to help them out over there. Or you both can get in front of this guy, right? And
Right.
you could say, listen, man, we believe in you. You've been with us for I don't know how long. I trust you. I want you to be the catalyst to get this company off the ground with your skill set, your level. You are automatically the supervisor of the company in terms of production. In the beginning, you're going to have to paint cabinets to the standard of which you do now. Nothing's going to change. But what I want to do is I want to start getting people trained underneath you. So, what's the difference between those two right there? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
in terms of just, I could see you guys, like feeling that because it's the emotion behind it. It's getting the sales set in the right direction with
Right.
with an employee. It's motivating, okay? Because that's what it comes down to. And yes, it comes with more money, so pay him more, whatever that is. These are investments in people, and ultimately, Leon, the major point that I want to make for you right now is that the right people are going to free you from doing physical labor because you're most valuable with a hat on and a polo,
Right.
being a representative of your brand,
Correct.
and being a salesperson, not going into the house with paint on your body.
Right.
And the reality of the situation is that producing the jobs, it takes a lot of time, and it's very important because we wouldn't be in business if we couldn't produce. But sales deserves just as much time and effort and energy. I mean,
Yes.
that's the thing. And the big misconception is, you and I both know, just from your experience in pressure washing. That's why I'm thankful to be able to kind of touch on that, so I can help you maybe see some of the differences of what you're going to be getting into. Is that you and I both know that you couldn't do as much estimates during the day if you had a whole day of pressure washing versus,
Yes.
you know what I'm saying? So
Of
the
course.
reality of the situation is you were only one or two guys away from freeing yourself from your pressure washing company, trusted guys. Okay.
Right.
And the biggest, greatest blessing here, Valentino would agree, is that he's actually leasing his best employee over to this company to get it started. Is that a fair thing to say?
Yes, I think
Okay, because
so.
he could easily take that employee and continue to do cabinets with that guy and say, "Hey, we got to find someone new." But he's really invested in getting this up and running on the right foot, which I very much appreciate and can see how quickly this could take off. But it's really, guys, a matter of what are we doing in terms of what's the next step? Because business owners always know the next step. Okay. And Leon, I need to catch you up to speed here because you've been working your own job for however long you've been doing it. So I need to
Sure.
kind of help you transition to a business owner as quickly as possible because
Of course.
Valentino doesn't have the time. He's not going
Right.
to be able to be 100% for long. He's got to keep his business running up and running. And the
Of
ultimate
course.
goal would be is that, he comes in as kind of like a silent partner for whatever you
Right.
need in terms of the things that he knows, but you're running the day to day every day, doing
Of course.
estimates, doing sales, managing this great employee who's going to be bringing in more employees. So my point here is, what's the next step going to be? And you always have to think ahead. So what I just gave you was this sit down environment where you guys prepare this individual for the next step, right? You're helping him
Right.
prepare. Okay. So if your words are just fluff, you
Mhm.
know, people remember that. So don't come into that conversation with this guy unless you have a plan for acquiring help, acquiring the tools that this person's going to need in order to feel good about this supervisor role, because we both know that yes, he's going to be doing your first 4 or 5 jobs by himself probably, or maybe with a helper, but and that's going to be comfortable. Okay. But you got to be very uncomfortable in the beginning of starting a business, or else complacency occurs. Because in his mind, he's saying, okay, I was promised 5 jobs ago that I'd get people to train with me, and
Right.
these guys aren't giving me anybody. Okay.
Right.
So you better be very, very careful what promises you make people when you give them a leadership position. And if you can't keep those promises, or you're not going to do the due diligence of setting them up for success in terms of what the next step is, 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 and having the vision, because that is what a business owner has. That's the greatest thing that you bring to the table, is the vision that you both came up with of starting this company. You have to continue bringing the vision every single day to this company, and what you do is you lay that vision on top of your guys, and then they identify with that vision. Okay. But if
Sure.
you're not showcasing it, and you're not reiterating it, and you know what the greatest salespeople in this business do? They advocate their vision to the customers, and the customers buy into the vision. Okay. So it's all about vision, and that's kind of the structure that I want to give you. And I kind of want to get some feedback on some of that from you guys. What do you think about some of those points there?
Those are excellent points. I mean, Valentino, what do you have any suggestions of what he said?
Well, the only thing that I want to bring up is that we're both running a business right now. Okay, I'm not sure if you know or if you're aware of that. So Leon is still running the pressure cleaning, business he has, and I'm obviously running Insta Painting.
Leon, can I ask you a personal question?
Sure, bro. Yes,
Okay.
of course.
How much money do you make a week pressure washing?
Every week, it's hard to say. One week I can make 5,000, and another week I can make 1,000. So,
Okay, on average, would you say that you're making about $1,000 a week pressure washing?
yeah, in an average, yeah,
About a
or
thousand dollars
more.
a week. Okay. Would you say, guys, that if you guys put your heads together within 1 month, you could replace that income with cabinet coating? Knowing the
That would
margins,
be
Valentino.
that would be great. That's the
Okay.
goal.
Within 1 month. Okay. Valentino, would it be a worthwhile investment to come up with some sort of agreement with Leon to buy him out of his business just so he can pay his bills so you guys can get this thing going so he can just jump right into cabinet coating full time and he'll
That's the
repay
idea.
you? You know what I'm saying? Because
Of
pressure
course,
washing is a waste of time at this point. The longer this guy stays in pressure washing, the longer your cabinet coating business is going to wait to launch. There's never
I
going to be a
agree.
perfect time.
I
Somebody's
agree.
got to stick their neck out. And right now, Valentino, it's you, brother, because you're in a very good structural position. But this is the benefit that you get in terms of being a silent partner, where eventually this cabinet business has to run itself, and you're still running, Insta painting. So when you're doing all the work, Leon, you're going to remember that this guy fronted you or whatever he did to get you away from pressure washing, and that this is the plan that I'm talking about, guys. This is that 4 week stretch. This is that
Correct.
that sit down. Everyone's neck is on the line here, so you're going to be resourceful. You're going to find jobs, and you're going to be forced to be creative. And my suggestion is, Leon, you're not going to have back-to-back cabinet jobs. Okay, it's going to require a little bit of time, but you should be the first trainee of this gentleman who's going to be working with you guys. You
Absolutely,
need to
and
learn how to paint
110%.
cabinets. Would you agree with that, Valentino?
It it it's
I
funny you mentioned that.
agree.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay, I just want to say real quick, I agree, but at the same time, I have a question. Do you think that this could work with Leon's pressure cleaning company still running, and because he has 3 to 4 employees right now, and I mean, yeah, from what I know, and Leon, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but
Sure.
you still pressure clean sometimes, but you do most of the selling and the estimates, and from what you've
Correct.
told me, you do everything over the phone mostly. uh
Correct.
Customers, but I do see that you're still very involved in I've seen you go out and pressure clean roofs still,
Right.
after having a business for like 10 plus years. From what you told me, I feel like you shouldn't have to do that anymore, and I've told you. But my question is to Tanner is, do you think we can get organized and be successful, to where his pressure cleaning company is still going, I'm running my painting, Insta Painting, and then we're both working together with Insta Cabinets?
No, don't. I think that the purpose of doing this is for you to get away from pressure washing, which you described to me you don't really appreciate because you feel undervalued. And I feel like ultimately, somebody's got to give 100% to this cabinet coating company, or it's going to
Sure.
be an average company that does one job every maybe 2 weeks. And the person that you are bringing over there to help you guys, that
Right.
ace that you have, the all-star that is excited, he's going to be like, I would rather go back and work with Insta painting, and that's going to fizzle out. So Tony Robbins is a good mentor of mine. If you want to take the island, you burn the boats, man. You're going to be resourceful. If those employees are actually really worth having, and you feel that you want to bring them into this business and teach them how to be helpers and teach them how to prep and teach them, I'm sure in the meantime Valentino can keep one or two of them busy, working on a paint job. Okay, so if it comes down to worrying about taking care of the guys, I'm sure you guys can be creative about that. But this pressure
Absolutely.
washing business has to go. I mean,
I, I,
it's not even.
it's funny, Tanner, that you mentioned that. You nailed it right on the bullseye. When, excuse me, I just had coffee. One of the things I told Valentino was when we first came up with the idea, teaming up together. and Valentino, you can quote me on this. One of the things I said is I want to put all my attention on the cabinets. I eventually want to let go of the pressure cleaning, although I do pretty well for myself, but I feel that all my effort needs to be on the cabinets. And that's what I told him coming into this business. I would put all my strength and all my knowledge, my sales, and that everything I've learned since I've been in business, I want to put it towards cabinet because I eventually, and I said it, let go of the pressure cleaning because do I enjoy it? Not at all. I enjoy cashing the checks, but do I enjoy it? No. So my heart wants to go all in into the cabinets, and that's one
Right.
of the things I
So
mentioned. So you
yeah, so
nailed it.
yeah, I mean, and that's what it's going to have to be. And I'm just saying that, listen, if you know that Valentino's fronting you, or maybe you guys even get creative and find a business loan, or whatever you need to do to sustain your bare minimum income right now, knowing
Correct.
that ultimately your income isn't guaranteed anyway. I mean, it's not
Correct.
like you have guaranteed income. It's a
Correct.
result of your production. And if it really comes down to it, Leon, I know you're a hard enough worker where if you want to hustle on the weekends only, knocking out your loyal customers that asks for a roof or whatever,
Correct.
dude. Sure. I mean, whatever. But the weekdays need to be 100% devoted to this new endeavor. I mean, it has to be because ultimately, this is what I told Valentino yesterday,
Sure.
and it was, Valentino, you're 100% in Insta painting, okay? Somebody else needs to be 100% in Insta cabinets. I mean,
That's me.
this isn't a side hustle, man. This is like this is a luxury fine finish business
Yes.
that
Yeah.
not everyone can do. I mean, that's why you get the luxury of not having low ballers because you can hand them a sample of a cabinet door and say, "Hey, show that to your low baller and see if he still wants to compete with us." And it's a lacquer
Yes.
finish or whatever you do. So ultimately, that's what the price is, but you can easily scale it to the point where you run 2 jobs a week, and cabinet refinishing is such a high profit margin business that you'll be replaced. That income's replaced just like that. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying? What do you
Sure.
think about that, Valentino? I mean,
Yeah.
what's this plan sounding like to you, man? After your question about the pressure washing, what are you thinking at this point?
Well, I mean, I like what I like what you're saying, and I like the fact that Leon is all in. Man, I
He is
appreciate
all in. You got a good partner here, man.
it. And man,
Absolutely. Thank you.
This guy's
honestly,
ready to go.
one of my main concerns was that how are we going to manage with I'm running one business, he's running his business, and we're both trying to run another business.
Right.
Uh, so just being clear
That
on that.
should motivate you further, and I know it does.
I am,
And
I am
and
big.
and if you guys can, you're gonna be so happy in a couple years, man, Leon. I mean,
Yeah.
letting this go, and getting this under your belt here. It's a
Absolutely.
much different.
I see this as an opportunity.
It's a
Big time.
much different level of respect too amongst customers that you'll feel, and I feel like you deserve with this profession as opposed to pressure washing. Just again because they kind of see pressure washers one and the same. Um,
Correct.
and with this, I mean, you're coming into someone's house. You are really, creating something that's going to make them very uncomfortable by limiting them outside of their kitchen. So it requires customer service, which I can tell that you know.
Yeah.
So these things, these intangibles that you learn through your business experience, your sales experience, your
Absolutely.
marketing experience are actually going to be used way more here than what you're doing now, trying to get Joanne to pay 250 instead of 150. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we're talking
Yeah.
about $100 difference there. Now we're talking about 10 grand or 9 grand. I'll do it for 9 just because I'm in a good mood today. It's a lot different than what you're battling with. So, going forward, man, like I said, it's building the foundation. It's putting your heads together. I don't know what the finances are going to look like, but I do know that if there's pressure applied, a result will follow, whether it's a good result or a bad result. So that's what we need to see is kind of testing this out is what happens when there's pressure. And no pun intended, but the pressure washing's got to go.
Absolutely. I
Not that
agree.
pressure.
No,
Um,
I agree. I
yeah.
agree
And
110%.
I have a question. So you know, so this is just kind of like in my mind. How would you say would be the perfect transition for Leon? Because Leon's been working on this business on his business for like 10 plus years,
All
you
right,
know.
let me ask you this. Don't go too far because it's simple. And the more you tell me, the more it makes it sound complex. I don't need to know all that stuff. All I do need to know is that is Leon willing to get his hands dirty? Is he willing to assume every single role?
110%.
Right. Is he willing to assume every single role? Is he willing to work underneath one of your employees to learn how to sand cabinets, how to prep a kitchen, how to, learn the dynamic? Would it be
Yes,
beneficial for your next job? Honestly, you should throw him on your crew one day just so he can see what a paint job process looks like. I mean, that level of determination, grit, commitment, bro, is all that he needs, and the transition can happen tomorrow. It really just comes
absolutely.
down to a choice. You know what I'm saying?
110%. You
It's a
nailed it.
choice. And it's whether it's the choice it comes down to is when are you ready? And I know he's ready now. If it
I'm
were up to
ready.
him,
I'm
you
ready.
know,
That was
He
one of
knows.
my main concerns. So I mean, hearing it from Leon and
yeah.
we haven't really talked too much about this. We kind of talked about it, but it's I mean it needed to be put out there
It's
and
out there, and I know it's hard amongst friends sometimes to kind of get that. That's why you reach out for help, and I give you unbiased help. I'm friends with Valentino, but I'm a coach first, and I see things as they are. You can't do both. So we've gotten past that, and I think we're all in agreement. So I don't want to spend too much time on that. I know we have a few more minutes here, but one
Sure.
thing that I really want to hit on is, Leon, he's running a business. He's busy. So you're a business owner too. You've got to take full ownership right now of this plan, this process. And what I suggest you do is be the leader in terms of bringing it to his attention. Hey, this is what I came up with. What do you think? This is what, because
Correct.
he's busy with customers, employees. He's not going to have that time to sit down and come up with this plan. This is your baby with his his help and so that's how you need to approach this, as if you didn't have him, and then having him for accountability and having him for guidance and having him for the
Sure.
branding, having him
Yeah.
for his resources and all that stuff like that. So my thing is that inputs and outputs, whatever you put in is what you're going to get out. If you think it's
Sure.
ride the wave of that plan I gave you, and I think that you need to assume the role of a prepper. I need you guys to figure out a date. The next cabinet job he sells, which probably be soon, knowing how great of a salesperson he is,
Right.
the next job that's being sold needs to be one for the cabinet guys over here. Okay.
Correct.
And that's what we need to build the company off, is that one job. Do you know how much more motivated he is going to be to find cabinet jobs right
Right.
now? Knowing that what's going on. So his reticular activating system is going to be looking for cabinets like he's never done it before, because he knows that your income depends on it, the promises he's making to his A player that he's giving to this company. And then we start slowly transitioning to the brand of Insta-Cabinets. But what we
Correct.
need to do is we need to test this process, and the customer doesn't know who you are, and the customer doesn't know what you guys got going on behind the scene. All they know is that their cabinets are being painted, but we need to
Correct.
test this process immediately. So the next cabinet job should be you and that A plus guy, and you're his apprentice,
Right.
and that's it. And you build a relationship because you're ultimately his boss, and you want
Right.
to learn this guy. And you want to know what. And here's the greatest thing that you're going to get from this, aside from the experience, is that when you sell this to somebody, you're going to be able to sell it with your heart, because you've seen the whole process. You've been in the process. You know what that looks like, and that's going to convey well to your customers.
Yes. Yes. You nailed it. It's right on there.
Okay.
I'm like I told Valentino, and he knows that one of the things that, because this is not my background and I'm eager to learn, I am a hands-on guy. So just like you said, I got to get my hands dirty, learn the process inside out about cabinets,
Yeah.
and because when you're out there talking to clients, one thing you want to do, and as a business coach, is whether you know it or not, you want to sound intelligent and you know what the product you're selling.
That's right.
So that's what I do in my pressure cleaning. Although nobody really taught me, I self-taught myself. But when I talk to people, well, this guy's a professional. He knows what the hell he's talking about.
Right.
It's the same thing with the cabinets.
And that's going to
So
help you tremendously. And in terms of being hands-on, just know that you're filling in right now. Every
right,
time you start a business, and this is where a lot of people get stuck, man, is that you're filling in for a position that you're eventually going to delegate, you're eventually going to hire for. So right now,
correct,
let's say Valentino wasn't in the picture, you're going to be filling in for an office admin answering the phone. You're going to be filling in for an office admin emailing customers. You're going to be filling in for a project manager managing projects. You're going to be filling in for an apprentice that's going to be helping, what's his name, prep the job. So it's like you just need to assume these roles so you can figure out how they operate, and then now you will finally understand how to fill those roles because you know
Correct.
what's required, and
Absolutely.
understanding the dynamics of this job, how long it's going to take, so you can
Correct.
confidently say, this one's going to take about 7 days. Confidence is huge. And the only, I painted in my painting company for 6 months, exteriors every day. I would paint from 8 a.m. to 12, and then I do all my estimates after that. So, I mean, I wanted to learn the process because I felt out of control. And I felt like, not only did I feel out of control in terms of the pricing, but I knew that the guys I had working with me didn't respect me as much. And not saying that I need their respect, but there's a certain level of like, hey, I mean, there's a certain level of respect that you should have with your team, that at least kind of, what's going on, So you're gonna ton of benefits there for sure.
Right. Right. Good stuff.
That's good. That's good.
Valentino,
Yeah.
Valentino, my last question for you, man. In terms of what we talked about today, you have a lot going on in terms of your own painting business. Let's talk about the dynamics of you, because this is going to add to your plate. And are you prepared for that?
Yeah, I'm prepared for that. I mean, I've already experienced, the cabinets and bringing in cabinet jobs and dealing with the residential jobs. So, I know what it is and I know the process. I've done it. I've got even great reviews already on cabinets that we've done.
Love it.
I can stand behind our process because it works.
Right.
Customers are happy, and I know this is going to take more time for me, but I also have my wife who wants to get involved and leave her
Love it.
job, to be part
Great.
of.
So there's purpose behind
Cabinet.
this. And I think, didn't you mention Leon's wife wants to get
And
involved too?
Leon's wife as well. They're
So
already
I mean,
working.
the purpose behind this,
Yeah,
guys,
they're
is
already
that,
ahead of us.
Leon, does your wife have a job currently?
She's a teacher.
She's a
She's dying
teacher.
to leave it.
She wants to retire early, right?
She wants to
So
retire early.
ultimately, listen, the passion and the purpose behind what you guys are building should break down any barrier, knowing that
Correct.
you're going to free your significant others
Right.
from the chains of whatever that they are dealing with in terms of their job, and allowing them to work alongside you and contribute and add their, go in for color consultations, or, just it's going to be great. The victory is within reach. But
Right.
really what it comes down to, guys, is just take it one day at a time, learn the process, and go all in. It's worth it.
All
The
the way.
risk of going all in right now is so small in
Correct.
comparison to the end result.
That's true.
um
That's
you
awesome.
know
I do
so
have one question,
sure.
if there's time. So,
Absolutely.
my question to you, Tanner, is what advice can you give us so that we can fill up our schedule for the next 3 months? That's my goal. Fill up the
Okay,
schedule, kitchen
let me
jobs.
ask you this, Leon. I'm going to ask you because I really want to get you up to speed
No
with a lot
problem.
of this
Yeah, yeah.
stuff, the
Go
way I
for it.
think about marketing, man. If you knocked on 100,000 doors from now until 4 months from now, do you feel like if you close jobs at a very low 20% closing ratio, would you sell 20,000 jobs?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think
Absolutely.
you'd
I
sell
mean,
more. I think you're better than 20%.
you're a lot more better than
So that's
20% if you're knocking on
20,000 jobs.
100 doors.
That's 20,000 jobs. So really the reason I'm saying that is because you just need to get in front of as many people as possible. And the quickest way
Exactly.
to do that is to pay for it. You can knock on 100,000 doors, or you can just buy and spend money on marketing and allocate a budget on Google Ads, on Facebook,
Correct.
on buying leads. I mean, whoever pays the most for the customer will get the customers. That's
Usually,
what it comes
yes.
down to. And you are paying for it when you're knocking on doors. You're paying for it with your time. So
Correct.
smart business owners are investors. I invest in whatever brings me customers because I know that I can convert a customer to a sale. So,
Correct.
or well, it's converting a lead to an opportunity to a sale. So,
Correct.
really, to answer your question in a much simpler context, spend money. This is a startup, and
No,
this is a low barrier entry here.
yeah, that's exactly how I started my business. I started investing. I told Valentino, home advisor,
Yep.
which is believe it or not, some people don't like it. I kind of like it's okay because I hadn't gotten high-end clients right through Home Advisor. So
Valentino knows what I like Home Advisor. Yeah.
I didn't like Home Advisor at first. When I started listening to Tanner, it's
all about it. But listen, it's all about Home Advisor is just the reason it has a bad reputation is it's just a bunch of angry contractors who don't understand the sales process.
Correct.
What do you think? Just because you're a contractor, people automatically buy from you? No, you have to nurture that lead from lead to opportunity to sale. And then you got to, I just followed up with somebody right before this call. Last night I'm thinking, she probably won't go for it. But I always follow up. I know consistency and persistency wins every time. It doesn't matter. I don't care if people are angry with me. I don't care if they think I'm being annoying. I don't care. Every time I call somebody, I'm building a relationship. I will find something to talk about. And I'm vulnerable on the phone. I said to this lady right before, I said, I really want to earn your business. I really want to do this job. This is such a great job for us. We will do an excellent job. Now, some people might think that they're too good to say that. I don't care. I just closed a $7,500 job after she said, okay, we'll go with you. So, that's the level of hustle and determination and confidence that needs to be, I would say just, brought on to the customer to win. And it comes down to like that strategy right there is just converting a lead to a sale that at one point, we would have wrote off as a loss, but I followed up. I had a conversation. I got to, she answered the phone, I'm thankful for that. And then I closed it, Sweet. You know all this stuff, Leon. I mean, this is sales. We just got to get the business owner aspect of this to where you really get comfortable in a role where you're not producing any work. That's going to be a little bit of a learning curve.
Correct.
It
is. It is.
And it comes once you get your confidence and you have a system and your day is full with things that you're going to be doing, project managing, maybe going into the jobs, just chatting with the customer, man, just talking to them, hey, how do you like everything? How are they treating you? You'll be right in line with all that, man. What's up, Valentino? Do you got something else?
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, did you find a lot of success with linking Home Advisors and, automations, with the email? As soon as they contact you, sending that email, did you 100%. Find a lot of success?
Yeah, we did. And that's part of what Dripjobs is going to do once it comes out. It's software we're working on. But essentially, the idea is to be the first to contact, Leon. You know this. If you had any success with Home Advisor, it's because as soon as that phone rings, you picked it up and you answered. Right there. Boom. Wait, up.
Most of my jobs were this that because I would get the clients. Well, you're the first one that called. So
first one to call.
We're going to give you the job because you're the one that's right on top.
Yeah. So really we created the automations because some people are at work. Some people see an ad and then they get called into dinner and then they know that the phone rings. Some people, just are scared. So when the phone rings, they don't answer it. Like we live in a different world. So automations really just hit them from all angles. I mean, as soon as that lead comes in, an email from your company comes out explaining who you are, that you got their information from Home Advisor, you're excited to work with them, please book here. And it has a booking link and then a text message goes out. And it's like, at the end of the day, this is a competition. And ultimately, if I'm a painting contractor and I'm sending somebody an email, a text, I've left a voicemail, ultimately I have a very, very good chance of getting an opportunity because that's what I fight for. I'm not saying I'm going to get the job. I just need to get in front of you. So that is what that's about. So I'm more concerned. Like if you try to like skip over that, like you're too eager to sell the job before you actually do the presentation, you're not going to get a good ratio. You need to focus whenever those leads come in on just getting the appointment. Don't talk too much on the phone. Get the appointment. You talk too much on the phone, there's a potential opportunity you could talk yourself out of a job. So focus on getting the appointment and you'll have a really good closing ratio. So the automations help for sure.
Good deal.
Awesome, man. Well, I think we nailed a lot. Was this helpful for you guys?
Absolutely.
Cool.
Awesome, man. Well, I appreciate it. And Valentino, you keep in touch. We'll close out here. Thanks so much, guys, for jumping in on the business breakthrough. And hopefully we could do a recap coming out. I'd like to maybe do a recap and maybe next month we'll jump back on. And I'm sure the listeners here would like to hear what transpired. Hopefully some action.
Absolutely. I'm absolutely ready for that.
Hey, I just want to take a second to thank you for joining me here on the Contractor Secrets podcast. I'm just going to take this opportunity to let you know that my passion is coaching people, helping people. I've changed my Instagram name to @contractorcoach. And I did that because that is my passion. I want to help you. So please reach out to me. If you have an issue going on in your business, send me an email, find me on Instagram, message me, and let's do a breakthrough session. I want to work through your problems in your business to help you get to that next level. And one thing that I always say is this, the difference between those that get over the humps and the hurdles in business is just a change in perspective. And that's what I plan to offer you. So get with me, message me, allow me to help you take your business to the next level.